Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be discussing the battery performance on the brand new Huawei P9. Now those of you who follow me on YouTube, you must have seen my first 48-hour battery impressions on the Huawei P9 when I had the phone brand new. Ever since then I've spent a lot of time with the phone, guys. It's been nearly 3 weeks now, in fact over 3 weeks, and I'm ready to give you my full detailed battery verdict on the Huawei P9. This obviously will include plenty of screen on times with 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, standby drain, charging time, and also the gaming performance on the battery life as well. So let's quickly get into this. Let's go into the gallery first of all, and then into screenshots. And from here you can see I've been taking plenty of screenshots ever since I gave you my first 48-hour impressions of the battery life on Huawei P9. Okay, so let's start off with the very first screenshot again, guys. So when I got the handset new, I was testing it on 4G LTE, and that's what I wanted to see, how the battery will perform. A lot of people actually these days use their 4G LTE connection. They're out and about, obviously, so it takes them they don't have much time to spend at home. So let's have a look and see. Then as you can see here, Wi-Fi was on 4G LTE primarily. Lots of social media, YouTube, SoundCloud, like especially SoundCloud, guys. You know, I listen to a lot of music via my Bluetooth headphones with Bose, so I use SoundCloud very heavily, and so do I use the YouTube as well, because you know I'm a YouTuber, so I do watch a lot of videos. And I was able to squeeze out 2 hours and 18 minutes. That was when the battery was around 54% and on 4G LTE. Going further down, as you can see, guys, it's typical stuff, like I said, YouTube, social media, everything else. I was able to squeeze out 3 hours and 33 minutes of screen on time with the battery down to 26%, and I kept on using it further. As you can see, Instagram, my SoundCloud, YouTube, and all my social media apps, and I was able to squeeze out 4 hours and 24 minutes of screen on time, and this is purely with 4G LTE. Now, by the way, the phone has a 3000 milliampere battery and it has a 5.2 inch 1080p LCD, not a Quad HD, which I still prefer, to be honest. I think Quad HD are still overkill on mobile phones these days, and if you have a well calibrated 1080p screen, I'm sure that's more than enough for majority of people out there. Okay, so 4G LTE, around 4.5 hours of screen on time, and then I tested the phone. As you can see here, guys, this here basically, I love this because the Huawei P9 has a built-in optimizer, and it's not only this phone, majority of Huawei phones have this as well. If you go into the background processes, you will see it will tell you the apps that have been used: Instagram, Facebook, Chrome, and you can manually close them if you do not require them. So it's a good way of saving power and giving you an optimal performance and making sure the battery is not consumed by the apps which are running at the back end. Okay, so further down, guys, down to 5%, and I was able to squeeze, after a heavy day of usage, as you can see, I was able to squeeze out, let's have a look at the end. I was able to squeeze out 3 hours and 8 minutes of screen on time, and this was with Wi-Fi. As you can see, my first screenshot was 4G LTE, and the second one was Wi-Fi. Let's go back here and see what I was doing. Heavy use, yes, as you can see, Google Plus, SoundCloud, everything else, and a pretty heavy day for me, you can see so far, with Wi-Fi mostly. And after 19 hours and 26 minutes, I was able to squeeze out, like I said, 3 hours and 8 minutes of screen on time with battery down to 50%. I kept on using further, guys, typical stuff, like I said, WhatsApp, social media, Facebook, Google Plus, and everything else. And in the end, I was able to squeeze out, let's have a look and see, 5 hours and 54 minutes of screen on time with battery down to 5%. Now, I think Huawei have done really well, to be honest, especially on Wi-Fi. They're giving you close to 6 hours of screen on time. Obviously, that also depends how you use the phone. If you play, you know, a lot of games, or if you're going to be surfing video and stuff, the battery will drain down obviously quicker, which I will show you later in the video, how the gaming affects the battery. Anyways, so close to 6 hours of screen on time, guys, 5%, and I was keeping my brightness at around 70%, 60%. That's why I normally keep my brightness, guys. I don't want to keep it too bright, and I don't want to keep it too low as well, because if you keep it too bright, obviously will hurt your eyes. So 5 hours and 54 minutes of screen on time. Okay, here I tested the standby time, guys. I left the battery at 55% at around just past midnight, 20 past 12, and when I got up in the morning around 10 o'clock, the battery had lost only 2%. It went down to 53%. So from 55% at 20 past midnight, it went down to 53%, only lost 2% in 10 hours, which I think is very good. So those obviously DOS is working at the back end with Android Marshmallow 6.0.1, with which the phone comes pre-installed with. Okay, once again, all the way till the end, guys. As you can see, heavy day, YouTubing a lot, Google plus social media. Once again, I was able to squeeze out 6 hours and 8 minutes of screen on time. So once again, well done Huawei for the great optimizations. I know the screen is not Quad HD, it's 1080p, but then again, you're gonna get very good battery life if you have a 1080p screen. And like I said, I still support 1080p. I still think Quad HD is an overkill, and phones do not need Quad HD. Okay, once again, 4G LTE as well, Wi-Fi, everything mixed up, guys. Now from this moment onwards, I was using the phone mix both with 4G LTE and Wi-Fi. At times I was using more Wi-Fi, at times I was using less Wi-Fi, more LTE, 4G LTE. Here you can see, guys, at down to 4%, I was able to squeeze out 4 hours and 55 minutes of screen on time, and this is with mixed use, a bit of 4G LTE, a bit of Wi-Fi, a bit of everything else. I used the camera as well, and I was able to squeeze out, like I said, 4 hours and 55 minutes of screen on time. So with mixed usage, you can achieve around 5 to 5.5 hours of screen on time, depending on how you use your phone. Once again, guys, down to 50%, all these apps that I used, and I was able to squeeze out, let's have a look, 2 hours and 42 minutes of screen on time. And I think here mostly it was Wi-Fi, it was less of 4G LTE, and it was more of Wi-Fi. Okay, so going further down again, now this is important, guys. I actually received an OT update whilst I was using the phone. It was 529 meg, and it had fixes to various camera and email apps, and also some optimizations to UI elements. You can pause the video, obviously, guys, should you wish. I'll just zoom this a bit more in. There you go. So you can pause the video, you can go through the log should you wish. But if you're going to go for a Huawei P9 in the UK, a SIM-free international version, or even the 3 version, this is, by the way, a 3 UK version, you will get this OT update straight away once you open your phone up. Okay, so further down, I kept on using it, guys. Once again, mixed usage, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, and I was able to squeeze out 5 hours and 17 minutes of screen on time. Wherever you see me getting more than 5 hours of screen on time, guys, with mixed usage, that means I've used more Wi-Fi and less 4G LTE. Obviously 4G LTE squeezes more battery out of the phone. Okay, once again, guys, after using it for 22 hours and 34 minutes, to be honest, the phone is solid from what I can see so far. It has been giving me 1 day of full solid battery life. When I say 1 day, well, that means it's not a full working day, a full 24 hours a day, so which is very, very good. If you're going to be using it heavily, then you can still squeeze out 1 full working day, but I was able to easily squeeze out 1 full 24 hours day, and I never had to charge the phone within a day, so that was very, very good. Once again, I was used it pretty heavily, with mostly with Wi-Fi, and I was able to squeeze out 3 hours and 6 minutes of screen on time. Once again, when the battery went down to 7%, I was able to squeeze out yet again 5 hours and 24 minutes of screen on time, which was again very, very good screen on time for a 3000 mAh battery with a full HD 1080p panel. Okay, so once again, took another screenshot, SoundCloud, social media, guys, YouTubing a lot. I use YouTube a lot, to be honest, on my phone, so I'm watching quite a few videos almost every day. So once again, 5 hours and 22 minutes of screen on time, and this was again mixed usage. More, it was less 4G LTE and more usage of Wi-Fi on the phone. Okay, once again, you can see here, guys, 22 hours and 50 minutes. So like I said, mostly I was not charging the phone for a full 24 hours, and the phone was lasting me, and this was me testing the phone. When I'm testing the phone, I push it really, really hard. So as you can see, the battery can easily last your day without any issues whatsoever. Once again, 4 hours and 26 minutes of screen on time, and this was primarily because mostly I was using, you can see there's hardly any Wi-Fi line on there, only 4G LTE. So this was purely, once again, I tested the phone on 4G LTE, the battery down to 9%, and I was able to squeeze out almost 4.5 hours of screen on time. Now here I tested the charging, guys. As you can see, the battery went down 9%. I took a screenshot at 2250, charging at 9%, and then the battery went all the way up to fully charged 100% and around 1 o'clock. So 110, 2250, 20, I would say just over 2 hours the battery will fully charge if you were down to 9%. Now you have to note here, guys, the phone does not support fast charging out of the box, so you will not be able to fast charge this phone like Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 or 3.0. so you get a regular 2 amp charger in the box, and if you are down to 9%, you should be able to fully charge your phone in just around 2 or just above 2 hours, depending on how further down you go in the battery. So fast charging is not supporting, but you can still charge your phone in just over 2 hours from around 10%. Okay, once again down to 5% after having using the phone pretty heavily. Wi-Fi 4G LTE. Okay, this was a screenshot I took. I remember this. For some reason, the battery drain was a lot more than usual. I know I work in a place where there's not much signal at times, and sometimes I forget to put my phone on 4G on airplane mode. But as you can see here, I mostly had network signal, but for some odd reason on this particular day, even though I used Wi-Fi most of the day, I was only able to squeeze out around 4 hours of screen on time for some odd reason. But this was the only one instance in all this time when it only gave me less than 4 hours. Apart from that, it was mostly above 4 hours or above 5 hours or close to 6 hours. Once again guys, 4 hours and 11 minutes. I was mostly using this on, I think, 4G LTE, a bit of Wi-Fi here and there as well, but mostly 4G LTE. That's why I was able to squeeze out less screen on time. Once again, I charged the phone at 5%, and around 22:36 it was up to 96%. Goes to show again that it will take over 2 hours before you can charge your phone fully from 10% or 5%. So fast charging is once again not supported. Another screenshot guys, 4 hours and 38 minutes of screen on time, and after using it for 16 hours, like I said, I was able to, taking a full working day is not a problem in this phone whatsoever. And if you're a bit heavy/moderate, you will be able to squeeze out full 24 hours a day. Even if you're heavy, you should be able to see through your full working day without any issues whatsoever. So 4 hours and 16 minutes of screen time. Once again guys, further down, as you can see, 4 hours and 7 minutes. So as you can see, 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, both performance on both sides is pretty solid and strong, and not much of an issue so far. You're getting with Wi-Fi over 5 hours of screen on time very easily, and with 4G LTE you're getting around 4.5 hours to 4.5 hours of screen on time. Okay, this was a screenshot I just recently took guys before I started shooting this video. I was playing Real Racing 3, and as you can see here, I took a screenshot at 40% of battery life at 13:35, and when I finished gaming, when the battery went down to 24%. So you can see here from 15:35 to 14:05 I was gaming for half an hour. I was playing Real Racing 3 non-stop, and I was able to, the battery went down from 40% to 24%, so I lost 16% in half an hour. So this is the gaming situation on the Huawei P9. Obviously gaming would drain battery out on any phone, regardless of whichever phone that is, but still I think this is a decent figure, not too bad. So guys, this was the full verdict of the battery performance on the Huawei P9. Any questions about the battery performance guys, please do ask me in the comment section, and please give my video a thumbs up if you like it, and please subscribe to my channel guys, as it helps. There's plenty more to come, so please stay tuned, and I shall see you in the next video.